No offense to the creator, they are trying to do editing. That's normal to do editing. I have a lot of friends who do the editing, but what the hell is this? I would recommend you do your research first. I'm not gonna stitch. I didn't. That's why I didn't want to stitch or duet. I'm not even gonna mention the creator's name. But like, what the hell? Like, I just came across this came on my For You page, and I'm just like thinking, what? So they're pretty much saying Amberlynn and Diana are the victims. These two are the accomplices. However, there is a very different storyline towards them, and they're very different history. If you read on about King Henry VIII and King Charles III, Charles is more of he's more of an environmentally friendly person. Like if you go and watch some of his very few speeches, very first speeches. One of his very first speeches was all about the environment and people, and how because he loves plants and he loves gardening, he wanted to do something for the environment. And a lot of people just laughed at him because he was looking at the environment. And plus, Charles is the first eldest child of four children, the first of four children, and that means he was born heir to the throne. But King Henry VIII, he's one of the youngest. His elder brother, he had an elder brother named Prince Arthur, who was his first wife's Catherine, who was his first wife's first husband. So it was Catherine of Aragon's first husband, but their marriage didn't last long, and then Catherine of Aragon waited for like 7 years. King Henry VIII wanted to marry Catherine of Aragon. So Catherine and Arthur's marriage was very much slightly similar to Charles and Diana's marriage. Because Catherine of Aragon became Princess of Wales by marrying Prince Arthur, the Prince of Wales. And Prince Arthur was the heir to the throne. He was supposed to be on the next in line after King Henry VII, not King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII only became king because his brother died young, like on his honeymoon. His brother's marriage to Catherine of Aragon didn't even last long. And many people are saying that Arthur would have been a better husband for Catherine than Henry. What I wanted to say about these two is they are very different stories. Yes, I know that Anne Boleyn is Diana's 13th great aunt, but that's due to through her sister Mary Boleyn. Because Mary Boleyn, she was very different towards her sister. She just gave in to the king and slept with the king whilst being married. Anne Boleyn wasn't married to anyone before King Henry VIII. She was just lady in waiting at 15. It says 15 years old. She was lady in waiting, and then around her early 20s, the Henry started like going for her and then chasing her after her because she just tried to run away from him because he was married to Catherine of Aragon and she didn't want to betray her queen. So she just quit her job at court. So because of the king. But later she did fall in love with the king. Because Henry never would leave her alone. However, with Diana it's a very different story. Diana's story is very quite similar to Catherine's. Diana was arranged to marry Charles, and Charles was arranged to marry Diana. And even Charles mentioned to Diana before the night before the wedding that he doesn't really truly love her romantically. He just as a friend. And she took it seriously and said, "Oh, he's seeing another woman," and she looks at Camilla because Camilla will be the beady eyes. Like that's your fiance's first love, and and Camilla just wanted to, be married to Andrew. So that also I want to pinpoint it out that Diana's and Anne Boleyn's story is not the same. Diana was Princess of Wales, but Anne Boleyn was never Princess of Wales because King Henry was already King of England. That made her Queen Consort of England. And Anne and Henry weren't betrothed, or no, sorry, they weren't what's it called? They weren't arranged marriage. They were actually kind of, they did have some love. Like Henry and Anne did have like some love for each other, except that Henry's like just wanted a son, and when Anne couldn't give him that, he got bored of her. So I would just suggest researching it first and not always say that these two are the victims, because I'm not. That's why I don't want to. That's why I didn't want to duet or stitch this, or even mention the creator's name, because this creator is not the only creator. There are so many other creators. That there was one that did. Is it history or coincidence? Where they say, oh, Henry and Mary Boleyn had dated just like Charles and Sarah. No, Charles and Sarah did date, but Anne's sister and future husband didn't even date. You know what King Henry VIII was like. King Henry VIII was married to Catherine of Aragon, and he then later had mistresses. He even got little Elizabeth Blount pregnant with Henry Fitzroy, and then that's how Henry Fitzroy was made. So I don't even know. The main Tudor children of King Henry VIII that we know were the legitimate ones, the 3 legitimate ones that were on the throne. But the other ones were illegitimate, so we don't know. We know Henry Fitzroy with Elizabeth Blount. We know there's this Mary Boleyn's, one of Mary Boleyn's daughter, Catherine. She was a really close cousin to Queen Elizabeth I, and she is known as also Queen Elizabeth the half-sister, not only cousin but half-sister, because they think that Mary Boleyn, when Mary Boleyn slept with Henry VIII, she got that's where she got pregnant with her daughter. So it's a very different story. Mary Boleyn and Henry never dated. I just pinpointed out this picture, but there often on my For You page I see where people are trying to say, compare Diana and Anne Boleyn. Like, that is a totally different story. Like, those are people that I feel like they don't even do much research on Anne Boleyn. Are people that just do research on the Tudor series on Channel 4, which is just like a normal TV series that's based on those Tudor figures, but it's not even accurate. There are many, like I watched the Tudors on Channel 4, and there were many inaccuracies. They named Margaret as the wife of Charles Brandon, and Margaret was the Queen of Scots, and due to Margaret, her giving birth and her granddaughter Mary Queen of Scots getting married and giving birth to James VI of Scotland, became James I of England. That's how the royal bloodline continued on, thanks to Henry's sister Margaret. Henry had 2 sisters, but in the Tudor series they put like the one sister. So I would recommend with these 2 just do research. We all know that yes, Anne Boleyn was accused of committing adultery, which is not true, because he just wanted to do something to execute her. But with Diana, Charles never went to cut her tires, or Charles was in England. He never, yes, he's rich, he could have paid someone, but I don't believe he paid someone. And even after the divorce with Diana, they were on good terms. He allowed her to, after the divorce, they were on good terms, they were good friends, but he allowed her to move on with other men and find someone who truly loves her, because he truly loved Camilla. There's such a totally different story, and people are then saying, oh, Camilla, using that Six the Musical verse from Jane Seymour's verse, the only one he truly loved was Camilla. Well, with Camilla, we all know it's true, because you just look at the way Charles looks at Camilla. Every man should look at their wife that way. And King Henry failed in that with all his wives.